He does ask if we can make any other recommendations in Europe. That might be something more for offline, or if you know Neal.
Yeah, just send me an email. We send an email to Rob. Rob, give me your email, and then we can talk a little bit more about that one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another one, this goes back to the Apex days, from Joseph. I can't swallow pills due to a really bad gag reflex. Can I chew the pills or crush them and put them into a shake?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we recommend. We recommend exactly that. There's other tricks you can do. We're not going to get into that, because if you really have that reflex, most of it's psychological, and I totally, trust me, I get it. I know so many people like that. Yes, you can crush it. The only thing that suffers is the delivery system in the multivitamin. It will suffer a little bit, but it's still 1,000 times better than any other multivitamin, because you got the right ingredients, right? So absolutely, you can crush it, put it in a towel, smash it, put it in a drink, mix it in orange juice, put it in your shake, all good to go. Excellent. By the way, in case you're wondering, this isn't water, it's scotch.
Excellent. It's Friday. Next one from Nasima.
I'm kidding, of course.
Would you recommend any of these supplements to any pregnant woman like myself? I am 39 weeks and have many other clients pregnant as well.
Yes. Okay. So hopefully your doctor, your OBGYN, or your future pediatrician, whatever, has already made sure that you're taking a prenatal. So that's number one. And we always made a prenatal, because I don't trust the one, even though the prenatal they're supposed to prescribe you as a practitioner product, by the way. So you should be good with that if that's what you got. And of course, we just don't make them because all our kids are grown up. I made them for our families, and I made them for all of our employees. We have thousands of employees around the world, and so I made them for them, knowing that we would make the best. Yeah, but a prenatal that's through prescription is perfect, so you should be doing that, number one. Number two, a fish oil. I'd be shocked if your doctor has not recommended a fish oil for you. It's almost all of them are doing it now for pregnancy. So those two, and our fish oil was perfect for that as well. Okay, so that's good. And then second, on anything else, any of your shakes, if you needed to lose weight, hopefully you don't. It's the worst thing you can do is try to lose weight when you're pregnant. You want all the good nutrients coming in to help that baby get the best chance through all 3 trimesters. So I would just stay away from everything else. There's really no calcium, of course, if you need it. That's very important. But that's it. Just look at your PlaySpan slide, and that's pretty much it. But take the multivitamin and make it a prenatal, which is the same thing.
Excellent. Since you mentioned calcium, the next question from Tavoris, what is your take, Neal, on bone density exercise versus taking calcium supplements?
Good question. Here is what my take is, and if you really look deep in the science, and by the way, I think that'll be in your references on that. It's a great question. I would argue that we don't need 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of calcium a day if we do resistance training. If we do any type of heavy resistance training, I mean just adding weight to our structures, adding resistance to our bones, whether we're walking, running, and weightlifting, I would argue you don't need that much calcium. The reason why our calcium, and by the way, if our diets had more magnesium in them, I don't think we need that much calcium. So it's a great question about synergy. But the average American doesn't have all that. But I would easily argue, and if you look at, and we're probably the only company in the world that makes this recommendation, if you're a male, we say don't take more than 1 calcium tablet. It's only 500 mg. And there's a reason for that, because if you are eating over 1,200 mg, and people can't add up what's in the diet half the time, there's a higher percentage risk of prostate cancer once you get over like 1,500. Okay, and you might not be able to add it right, but at 500, and if you're exercising, you're going to be totally fine no matter what. Okay, so great question, and I don't think you need as much.
Okay. Ryan's question is where we can find all the studies that we're referring to, and I actually have pulled up on my website where they can find from the Fitness Vault, the PDSRG. It might take you a couple extra minutes. Why don't we address that one at the end, Neal, so visually anybody can see?
Yeah, well, again, you just click on .fit.com, hit Fitness Vault, type in the search line, PDSRG, boom. Everything I just talked about is in there. Click on whichever product, ingredient, boom, done.
Okay.
You can show them that at the end, Rod.
Absolutely. Bree, we will email you the presentation, and the presentation is actually down at the bottom where it shows handouts. And feel free, again, to just let either Nicole, Kat, or myself know, probably one of your representatives, and we'll be able to email you the presentation afterwards. That goes for everybody. Neal, the next question is from Ken at Crunch. And one of the things Crunch does is they do a pretty extensive group training class. So his question is, how can we reference or explain how thermic cell stimulates metabolism without sounding too nerdy during one of these Camp Crunch classes?
Well, I mean, okay, let's talk about caffeine. I mean, I think everybody on the planet knows caffeine stimulates metabolism. This is a better caffeine. It uses caffeine from different herbs. Caffeine is a drug. It's basically a methylxanthine is what we call it. It's the most ubiquitous ingredient in the world, consumed by more than any other ingredient, period, right, around the world. Whether it be tea, whether it be coffee, whether it be yerba mate, all of these different herbs have caffeine in them in a different concentration. If you look at our blend, you look at the yerba mate, the guarana, the little bits of everything make a very soft blend. And when you add the theanine to it, it takes the buzz down. Now you've got a nice, easy, I call it a better stimulant, a very controlled energy. I think that's what you want to use.
Very good. Since the last question was about thermic cell, Daniel is asking, does your body adapt to thermic cell over time?
I think so. I do believe that any of those things, after 60, 90, like caffeine, the first time you drink coffee, you're probably, you're shaking, like a Starbucks coffee where you got like 300 megs of caffeine in it. I'm pretty sure you're racing, you're feeling it. After a while, your body figures out how to kind of, metabolize caffeine a little bit better. Enzymes that metabolize caffeine get fired up, and they start getting there and everything else. So it definitely takes it off. We tell our endurance athletes, our triathletes, our Olympic athletes how to use caffeine as an ergogenic aid. And what you do is you abstain for about a good month. Don't use caffeine at all, no coffee, no anything. And then you start taking it then to get that ergogenic effect, which is performance enhancing, to be able to ride longer or delay fatigue, of course, what you're trying to do with those athletes. Yourself, yes, I would say at some point the buzz will not be quite the same. And I always like to use the example, you never get quite as high as the first time as you do the first time you get a buzz. So anyway, that's kind of what it is. I would say, yes, I take 30, 60 days. You're probably going to get where it's not as effective.
Okay. Paul's question is more along the lines of, are there any plans to make the website, our program, more user-friendly? And
Bob,
we've got some go ahead.
You answer.
You want me to answer that? Yeah. Paul and everybody that's on the line, we have some really exciting things coming up very, very soon. We're in the final stages of development, and you're gonna see something I think that's gonna knock off everybody's socks out there. I'm gonna leave it at that if you don't mind, because there's a lot to show and demonstrate. But let's just say .fit is going to be going, finishing the year of 2016, going into 2017 with a bang.
And on that note, just so you know, you'll be able to do everything on your phone.
Yes.
Everything. You'll never have to look at a computer again if you don't want to. Everything on your phone. So that's one little hint all the way around. So I guess you could say on the program side, we're moving into the 21st century, which we obviously should have been a long time ago. But we're so anal about our nutrition stuff that we kind of forget about things after a while. But we're in.
Very good. Next question from Daniel again. In Seattle, we deal with a lot of clients seeing natural or homeopathic doctors. They recommended sell their own supplements. Are these actual doctors with higher quality supplements or totally bogus? Well,
I'd really have to see what they're using. I would say if it's a naturopath or a homeopathic doctor, they're using a practitioner product. It's shame on them if they're not, which means it follows the same rules, but what's different about it, they don't do the synergy thing we do. There's so many things that we do, the delivery systems, none of them do that. But I would guess, and not only that, the problem with getting involved with, or trying to outdo them, Daniel, and Daniel, good to hear from you, buddy, is that the problem with trying to get that is that you don't want to step into their realm. I would just kind of maybe a shake or something for those people, just kind of leave them alone. I know if you're like me, you want to turn everybody, right? But they may be using it for another reason. We don't get on the medicinal side. A true qualified naturopath is qualified to use herbs and treat people's different disorders with that. And that's something we don't get into. So I would just kind of stay away pretty much. Hopefully they're using a practitioner product.
Great. Next one from Mike Spiegel with Crunch. He says, the probiotic is one of the newer products for .fit. Can you give us a quick elevator speech about why taking a probiotic is important for our clients and students.
Okay, will do. And Mike, good to hear from you as well, but you know I can't do an elevator speech, but I'll do the best I can. We've got trillions of bugs in our gut, right? Half are bad, half are good. And in Western diets and Western lifestyles, they start to go bad. When they go bad, they send weird signals throughout the body, causing all kinds of havoc. A probiotic such as what we've delivered to you with 80 billion good bugs helps throw the balance back towards good. If it's off. If it's not off for some reason because you live in this perfect world, there's no stress in your life, you just do all these wonderful things and you're just perfect, then it's not going to do you any good. But the bottom line is for Western lifestyles, a probiotic that's neutral like ours. So they're using probiotics now to treat different diseases, but they're different strains. So our 8-strain probiotic is designed to just add good to the average Western lifestyle so that if the bugs get comfortable, there's always to be some good and bad, there's going to be the right balance, and that's what we're trying to get there, and then better signals will happen throughout the body. We've just found out in the last 10 years, Mike, and everybody else out here, that our gut, where all of those bacteria live, is like an actual organ. It functions like a brain. It functions like the liver. It sends signals to other parts of the body through the intestinal tract in order to make things in the brain happen, all kinds of things. So it's been probiotics is probably the greatest, or certainly the most recent research. Is the most. I've never seen so many studies coming out now. They're using it for almost everything, including weight loss. So that's all. Just get there to help balance the gut bacteria so better things happen overall.
Great. Tavoris has another question. So how do we as trainers control the culture of healthy meal plans versus supplements?
Okay, well, first of all, that's why I put on that play span. Eat the best you can. Changing behavior is the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life. I spent 30 years telling people how to eat. And you guys know when I created the Body Bug, I basically threw my hands up and said, okay, here's how you eat. If you can, fine. If you can't, just log your food to this point. But everybody knows wheat bread's better than white bread. Everybody knows a banana is better than a Coca-Cola. You don't need me to tell you what's good and what's bad. Maybe the right calories to eat for your physical goal, but you know what is good and what's bad. Okay, a fatty steak is not as good as a piece of salmon. Okay, so it's like you've got to do the best you can. That's why those examples are in there. Always eat first, and supplement is about supplementing and filling the gaps, and that's the only way you can present it.
Very good. The last question I have on here, Neil, if you want, I can actually answer this. It's about the program itself. But the question is from Sean that says, is there any way to add substitutions with similar caloric value and macros to the meal plans? Clients don't know how to find correct substitutions, and we don't have the time every day. And Sean, all you have to do is when you click on one of the reference menus, there's a button in the top right-hand corner that says Customize. When you click on that, it's then going to ask you to name this new menu. When you name it and then click OK, it opens up the menu where you can delete or add anything that you want, and then it'll automatically save for you under that new name. If you have any questions about that, please, again, just reach out to myself, Nicole, or Kat. We'd be happy to help you with that. But, Neil, that is all the questions on the dock. I'll let you close it out. And I just want to thank everybody. And again, from Nicole, Kat, myself, and the .fit corporate office, thank you all for your time. And I'll, again, thank Neil, and I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, thank you for giving up an hour or so of your Friday. I'd like to spend every Friday with all of you and do the things that you want. So will you please communicate with Rob and me, too. You guys know my email. It's not real hard. It's neil@.fit.com. Any questions I didn't answer for you today or anything else, some topics that you may want that would get you to spend an hour a week. As you guys know, my first E out of the 4 E's to business success is educate. So what is it? What is it that will make you want to come to a webcast, once a week or once a month or whatever it may be? What's the topics that are so important to you? That's what we're doing in PTN. We just sent out a big thing, got 5,000 responses in 10 minutes of what people want as a membership for a personal trainer. We just did that, and that's why the whole site is now being scoped out to do. So anyway, just let me know any of those things. And we got a world to save, and I can't do it without you. And the ride has been phenomenal so far. We've done great things with all our brands, all of our companies, and so many of you have been with me in this whole ride, and I'm just honored to still have so many of you part of this journey. So you just let me know whatever you need, and I'll be here forever, because you know I'm not retiring, much to my wife's chagrin. So thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.